it's very interesting that when we started this series 10 years ago, you know, these characters were sort of, you know, they're super racialized.
Right.
And there was not very much discussion about that in popular culture. Now, already recently, in the past year, both Land O'Lakes Indian Maiden and Aunt Jemima characters have been eliminated by these brands. So there's a real sort of changing in awareness, and it's kind of an interesting time for us to tackle this last remaining character. One of the things that has always been our goal for the project is to have sort of a large exhibition that would show all 5 chapters together. And I think that you know, we're now that some of these characters have been sort of taken off the market, if you want to say that, we're interested in how I don't know, in how we're going to address that. We don't have any conclusions at this point. I think it's also important to note that even with the, taking the Indian Maiden off of Land O'Lakes, or taking the Aunt Jemima character off of the pancake mix and the syrup, right? This is actually part of a long history of, corporate rebranding that has happened within the sort of media lives of these characters already. And that's been the subject of our work specifically, right? Especially as we start to think about the real women who were the initial inspiration in some cases, or performers in other cases, and thinking about how, I mean, Aunt Jemima has already had multiple rebrandings. Actually, the title of the Sun-Made Raisin chapter is A New Face. It starts with a real woman who is the inspiration, who basically a marketing man saw her drying her hair in California and thought, this is the face of our raisin company. She's then illustrated, the illustration is updated several times, and then she was given a digital makeover and made into a sort of boobalicious 3D avatar who does yoga, and it's like doing yoga on the beach, and there's like Sun-Made beach towels that you can buy and things like this. So it's part of this sort of updating. There's constant updating that's part of this. It's also part of the material residue of the kind of affective labor that that they are performing. When they first announced the rebranding and the new avatar, they were saying that this sort of new face for Sun-Made was meant to remove her ethnic features. So the weird thing about this is that this avatar sort of looks like that Time magazine cover of like the new face of Eve, which was supposed to be this completely racially blended figure. So in an effort to sort of remove the ethnic features of Sun-Made, the character ends up looking sort of generically racialized in a very weird, eerie way. So we're really interested in that, and that's actually why that that project, which also has many twists and turns with the Grapes of Wrath and immigration and Build a Wall and all of this stuff, but that idea of a new face was sort of at the core of and reinvention, like this sort of the Grapes of Wrath and this westward migration and Californian farm labor also has to do with like this American idea of like starting over. It's a new face, right? It's a new day. It's westward expansion. It's a manifest destiny, right? So we're interested in how all of these things are coming together in this kind of work. This is all to say, all of this is all part of a process, and is all part of constant revisioning, right? That is happening both from the corporate side and for us as artists as we're rethinking and reprocessing this material.